If you are in love with baby names or looking to name someone, you are in the right place. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Becky and I am the very proud owner and author of writeabee.com, a blog where we help families raise empathetic and creative kids who love to make, write, and play. But one of the hardest parts of parenthood, I think we can all agree, is naming our little one. And so we have developed Waiting Wednesdays. If you are waiting for your little one to arrive, this is your playlist. We will throw out our favorite names every week for you to hear and hopefully inspire the name of your new little one. But of course, that's not the only reason people are looking for names. If you are an avid Sims lover like myself, perhaps you just are looking for a new name, or you have a new family member, like a puppy or a kitty, or even if you are picking a new name for yourself, congratulations and welcome. The very first name on my A list is for girls, and it is Alice. Alice was incredibly popular and dipped down to very unpopular and is skyrocketing back to popularity. Now, if you know me at all, I do not particularly enjoy top 50 names for my own personal self. I was a classroom teacher for 10 years, and all of those popular names, I knew dozens of kids with those names. So you won't find top 50 names here, but Alice comes close. It is in the top 70s. Alice is number 73 on the US popularity chart, and with good reason. It is lovely, and I think it has been underrated for a very long time. I think Alice is a name that suits little girls really well, from being a baby, little baby Alice, all the way into their teen years, and as an older adult and into mature age. I think Alice is a name that really can grow with somebody, and sometimes names lack that feature. So I think Alice is definitely should be in the running if you are looking for strong A names that are a little bit under the radar but easy for people to pronounce. Number 2 for girls is Annette. Annette is not on a popularity chart anywhere, but the nickname Annie is 298 here in the US. Annie might be my favorite nickname of all time. I think it is absolutely lovely. However, I don't particularly love naming kids the nickname. I like to have a name with a nickname. I think Annette is just very strong and lovely sounding to me. Now, the drawback of Annette, like I was talking about Alice, I don't think Annette is very appropriate for a younger child. When I think of the name Annette, I definitely think of an older person, but the nickname Annie is absolutely beautiful, and if I were ever going to name my child a nickname, it might just be Annie. So Annette or Annie, I think, are very lovely choices. Annette has a French background and means gracious and merciful. Annette is currently 870 in popularity in the US. 870 is really far down, but again, I believe it's a name that people can say and will not struggle with. Annette, Annie, I think both make a great choice. Next on my list is Astrid. Astrid here in the US is number 518 in popularity, so it's quite a ways down. And because it's a Scandinavian name, I think one of the reasons I'm drawn to it. I personally have a lot of Scandinavian culture in my home, and so I think I really attach to this name. I love it because it's not quite as popular as names like Heidi or Freya, but Astrid still has that same sort of feel, that cozy hygge feel to it, and I really enjoy that. Astrid is one of those names that I think ages really well with a child as well, which is hugely important when you're thinking about naming your baby. So I think baby Astrid and toddler Astrid, and I can think of a teen Astrid all the way up into a mature adult, and I just think that there are lots of really sweet nicknames that go well with Astrid, and I think I would choose it. The next name on my list is Alora. Alora is an African, specifically Botswanian name, and it means my dream, which I just think is stunning. There are so many beautiful A names that top the chart. So if you like Amelia or Ava and you're just looking for something a little different but is still very feminine and almost floral sounding, I think Alora might be a good choice for you. Alora, I think other people will be able to say, even if it's not a name you've seen before. The sounds all blend together really beautifully and very femininely. I think it works lovely for a baby all the way through a mature adult, and I think it's just gorgeous. Alora is ranked way down at 718, so it's a very underrated name in my opinion. I think that it could grow in popularity, but right now a lot of people don't know about it or use it, and for that reason I think you might want to swoop it up. If you're loving those top names, those top A names on the chart, but don't want a top A name, this could be a really good choice for you. Next on my list is Arden. Now, I do believe Arden is more of a non-gendered or gender-neutral name. So I do believe that if you were raising your child non-gendered, or if your child is non-gendered, I think Arden is a nice choice. Here in the US, it's only 952. So again, I think it's very easy for people to read and understand. I think it's a name that grows well. And most importantly, if you are raising a non-gendered child or believe that the potential to be there is important enough to raise your child with a non-gendered name, Arden should definitely be on your list. I personally think it's a touch more feminine, and maybe only the association with Elizabeth Arden. However, I do think it's very easily could go on either list or any list in between. Next up on my list for A names for girls is Adele. I'm super curious to hear what you guys think of the name Adele. When I look at the popularity chart, there are so many highs and lows associated with it. It's had kind of a rocky few years. So in the comments, tell me, do you like the name Adele? Would you consider it? What are your thoughts about it? And I'm just curious what the community has to say. Adele comes from a German background and has the meaning of noble and kind. It's also really popular for people who name their babies after celebrities, so it's on lots of celebrity naming lists. And again, one of my biggest criteria is how well does this name age, and I think it ages beautifully. I can imagine a little girl picking flowers, and I can also imagine a grandmother with the name Adele. So I think it's one of those names that ages well. I think people will read it, and I think you should consider it. All right, the next one on the list is Annika. Now, I think Annika or Annika, depending on how you spell it, there are a few different variations of spelling for this one. I prefer with two N's, Annika, like that, so it looks like Annika. Annika is my preferred spelling, but there are so many variations of it. I think any are lovely. Annika technically is another variation of Annette, which also has that gracious and merciful meaning. So if you like Anne or Annette or even Annie, but Annette didn't do it for you, maybe Annika is a better choice. I think this is a great choice for parents who love the name Ava and Amelia, but don't necessarily love the popularity. So if you are someone like me, I'm a teacher and I've known so many kids with those top names. If you're looking for something different but similar, I think Annika or Annika is a great choice. I think people will be able to say it depending on how you spell it. I personally think that two N's is Annika and one N is Annika, but that's just my personal style and my experience as a teacher. So definitely, if this is something that's interesting to you, there are so many variations of spelling that you could throw in there, but these are my personal favorites. Last but not least is Auden. Auden to me is so lovely and is a nice substitute for Audrey. So if you like Audrey, but again, maybe you know a few Audreys, or maybe that name is too high on the popularity list for you, Auden might be a nice fit. Auden is considered non-gendered or gender neutral, so there may be some male Audens in the world, and I think that's totally fine. However, I associate it as slightly more feminine, and I think that's because of the Aud, like Audrey. Right now, Auden is not even on the popularity list at all for the US, so it's definitely one that's under the radar. So if you're looking for an A name that people can say that grows really well and is not even on anybody's radar, it might be Auden. Auden is half Danish. That's literally the meaning, half Danish. So if you are a Scandinavian or a Dane and you are looking for something here in the US that kind of throws back to that, Auden might be a lovely choice for you. I wish I had known about the name Auden when I was naming my little girl. We are part Danish here in my family, and I think that would have been a lovely touch to her name. All right, let's talk about the A names for males. I love, love, love this name. Number one on my list is August. I definitely considered August or nickname Gus for my little one that was just born a few years ago. I think it is absolutely adorable. Little baby Augie could easily grow up into August or Gus as a teen and then all the way through into adulthood. I think this name grows well and has some lovely, lovely nicknames that really stand out amongst the crowd. August is at 167 here in the US, so it's a little bit higher than the names I would normally present to you, but I definitely think it's popular for a reason, and that's because it's lovely. August is an older English name and it means to increase. And how lovely is that? Because he will increase in age and go from Augie to Gus to August, or whatever path you so choose. I think this is a great alternative if you like Liam or if you like Oliver, but those names are just a touch too popular. Potentially, you might consider August. Next on my boy name list is Atticus. Atticus is another one that was absolutely on my list when I was naming my own little one a few years ago. Atticus is on the literary name lists as well because of Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird. And here in the US, it's number 309 in popularity. So it's definitely a name people have heard of. It is climbing right now, climbing the name lists, but it's still relatively low at 309. If you're a fan of Liam and Alexander, I think you might also be a fan of Atticus. And it may be a little bit slightly less popular, so if you are a teacher looking for a name, Atticus might be a good choice for you. The next name on my male list is Ari, or Ari. I like Ari personally. And this is a Hebrew name, which means lion. I feel like this name is short and sweet and can fit lots of different kids in lots of different walks of life. So I think a baby Ari can easily be a teen Ari, and that can easily be a mature adult as well. When I see the name Ari, I often think of Aristotle as well, but I don't think it crosses any lines. So if you like names like Aaron but are looking for something a little different, this might be a good option for you. I do believe that this name is somewhat gender neutral. Now, if you like Ariana or Ariana, those are often nicknamed to Ari or Ari. But I do think Ari is a standalone male name as well as a gender non-conforming name. So I think if that's an important thing for you, then you might want to consider that. I do believe that there are lots of female Aris in the world, mostly because of the nickname for Ariana. But I do believe that you could be a female, a gender non-conforming, or a male Ari. When I see the name Ari, I'm assuming male unless it's shortened from a nickname. If you haven't noticed yet, I do really like those AUs and AR names. The next name I'm bringing you is Arlo. Arlo is a German name meaning hill and is considered for use by mostly parents looking for boy names. So if you're looking for a name that's not gender neutral or not feminine, Arlo, I think most parents would agree, is a masculine or boy name. Arlo is currently rising on the charts, but so far has not topped 270. So while it's gaining in popularity and you may know an Arlo, you might not know 100 Arlos. So I think this is a great choice if you're looking for a name people can say, something short and sweet, something that won't be confused in a gender question. I think Arlo is an awesome choice, and it has that lovely AR sound, which I adore. I'd love to know your opinions on the AU, the aw, and the AR sound, R. So let me know in the comments. Is one jumping out at you? Alvin is dropping rapidly in the charts, and I can't figure out why. When I look at the popularity of this name, it peaked in 1950 and has been on the decline ever since. I love this name, Alvin. It reminds me of Alvin and the Chipmunks, which is not a bad association to me. I also think of Alvin Ailey, the incredibly popular dancer and choreographer, when I hear the name Alvin. Alvin is an American name and means noble friend. And I just love everything about this name. I love the associations, I love the meaning, and I really, really want us to bring this name back to life. So, Alvin, if you like it, let me know. Please tell me in the comments if this name does it for you, because I just adore it. Next on my list is another AL sound. Get used to them, there'll be a few. Alfred. Alfred to me is lovely. I do think it's an older name and does need a nickname in its younger years. And so for me personally, I would choose Alfie. Alfie, I think baby Alfie grows up into an adult, mature Alfred. Alfred is an English name and it means elf ruler, which I just adore. So if you are into magic or realms or elfhood, then maybe this is a good name for you. And if you like names like Albert or Arthur, but those names are slightly too popular for you, Alfred might be a good choice. And it's 800 on the US popularity chart. So here in the States, it's only 800, number 800 on the popularity chart. So it's pretty far down there, and everybody's heard it, everybody can say it. It checks all of my boxes, so I hope it checks one or two of yours. Ever since 1950, Alfred has been on a massive decline, but in 2013 it started to spike up again and has been waving up and down a little bit since 2013. So we'll see, just like Alvin, we'll see if we can bring this name back to life. I hope so. I love these AL names. Next on my list for my favorite A names in the boy section is Alister. Now, Alister is a name that I have to admit really confuses me. When I look at the name, it looks like Alistair to me. Alistair. I like the sound of Alister better. And so I think there's a few different things that you could do spelling wise. I just think that this looks like Alistair. But the name Alister I think is lovely. So I don't particularly love the spelling of the name Alister, but I would probably change it to this, which is Alister. It looks like Alistair to me. Alister is a Scottish name and it means defender of the people. And I think what a lovely name meaning, defender of the people. When we talk about being empathetic and aware of others' feelings and emotions around us and standing up for what's right and defending good versus evil, I think this name really means a lot. Alister right now here in the US is 967, so it's really far down there as far as popularity goes. And I don't understand why, unless it has something to do with the Alister thing, maybe? I don't know. Tell me, what do you like? If you were gonna go with Alister, how would you spell it? Do you like Alistair or Alister? Tell me. All right, we made it. The very last A name on the boys section is Abel. A-B-E-L, Abel. I think it is lovely. It is a Hebrew name meaning a breath. And oh, how sweet is this? Your baby is a breath. And I just love that. It is so touching and so romantic to me. I can't get over it. And I wish I had considered this when I was naming my toddler. Having a short and sweet baby name is incredibly important to me and my decision because my husband's surname is very long. And so I love these short names that could be shortened even further. So Abel to Abe, I think is so lovely. But Abel by itself, I think grows well from baby to toddler to teen to mature adult. I think Abel is perfect all on its own. If you love names like Elijah or Gabriel, I think this could be a really nice option for you. So Abel is a biblical name. Abel is the brother of Cain. So if you're looking for a biblical name, or maybe you're avoiding biblical names, you should know that about the name Abel. I personally, that doesn't bother me. I don't necessarily look for biblical names or avoid biblical names, but I know that a lot of people do, and the association of the name is important. So I just put that out there. If you love it or leave it, that's up to you, but I want you to have all of the information. Abel, since the 1950s, has been slowly trending upward and is right now taking a small dip. It is at 157. So if Abel is interesting to you, it might be a great time to snag the name because it does seem to be on the decline. As always, in the comment section, please let me know what you think of these names. Your opinion is hugely important. Tell me what your children's names are. Tell me why you named them. And because it's Waiting Wednesday, please tell us if you are waiting on any little bundles of joy to arrive. We want to be here and support you through it. So let me know in the comments what you need, or what you're looking for in a baby name, and I will try to help make a list that fits your needs. I can't wait to see you on the next Waiting Wednesday. Bye, everyone.